MH370, the flight that vanished without a trace. On March 8, 2014, a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people took off into the night. Less than an hour later, it simply disappeared. No distress call, no emergency signal, no confirmed explanation. Despite one of the largest and most expensive search operations in aviation history, the aircraft was never fully recovered. More than a decade later, Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest mysteries in modern aviation. But what actually happened that night? Let's separate the facts from the speculation. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 departed from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, bound for Beijing, China. On board were 227 passengers and 12 crew members from several different countries. The aircraft was a Boeing 777-200ER, one of the safest long-haul aircraft ever built. The weather was calm. There were no signs of mechanical trouble. Everything appeared completely normal. At 12:41 a.m. local time, the aircraft lifted off as scheduled. For the next several minutes, the flight followed its planned route without any problems. The pilots communicated normally with air traffic control. Nothing suggested that history was about to be made. About 38 minutes after takeoff, as the aircraft approached Vietnamese airspace, the co-pilot made what would become the flight's final known radio transmission.
Malaysian 370, maintaining level 350. Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, maintaining level 350. Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
Moments later, the aircraft's transponder stopped transmitting. On radar screens, MH370 suddenly disappeared. At first, controllers believed it might simply be a communication problem. Such incidents occasionally happen. But as minutes turned into hours, the situation became far more serious. The aircraft never checked in with Vietnamese air traffic control. It never arrived in Beijing. Something had gone terribly wrong. Military radar would later reveal something astonishing. After disappearing from civilian radar, the aircraft appeared to make a dramatic turn back across the Malay Peninsula. Instead of continuing toward China, it flew in almost the opposite direction. This unexpected maneuver immediately raised new questions. Why had the aircraft changed course? Who made the turn? And most importantly, why? Even today, no one can answer those questions with complete certainty. Although the aircraft transponder was no longer working, investigators discovered another vital clue. The aircraft continued exchanging automated electronic handshakes with an immersed satellite approximately once every hour. These were not voice messages. They were brief signals confirming the aircraft was still powered and communicating with the satellite network. Those tiny signals would become one of the most important pieces of evidence in the entire investigation. By carefully analyzing them, experts estimated that MH370 continued flying for nearly 7 hours after disappearing from radar. But they couldn't determine its exact path. Instead, the calculations produced two enormous possible routes. One stretched north across Asia, the other extended deep into the southern Indian Ocean. As more evidence emerged, investigators concluded the southern route was far more likely. If correct, the aircraft ended its journey thousands of kilometers from land in one of the most remote regions on Earth. What followed was unlikely anything the aviation world had ever seen. Dozens of countries joined the search: ships, aircraft, satellites, submarines, autonomous underwater vehicles. Together, they searched an area covering hundreds of thousands of square kilometers. For months, teams scanned the ocean floor using advanced sonar equipment, yet nothing. No complete aircraft, no flight recorders, no clean answers. It seemed almost impossible. How could a Boeing 777, one of the largest passenger aircraft ever built, simply vanish? And yet, that's exactly what appeared to have happened. For more than a year, the world searched the vast southern Indian Ocean. Then, in July 2015, a breakthrough finally came. On the remote French island of Réunion, located east of Madagascar, a large piece of aircraft debris washed ashore. Experts later confirmed it was a flaperon, a wing control surface from MH370. It was the first physical evidence that the aircraft had ended its journey in the Indian Ocean. Over the following years, several more pieces of debris were discovered along the coasts of Africa and nearby islands. Some were officially confirmed to belong to MH370, others were considered highly likely matches. Ocean current models showed that these fragments could indeed have drifted from the southern Indian Ocean over many months. The debris answered one important question. The aircraft had not simply vanished into thin air, but it raised an even bigger one. Where was the rest of the plane? Investigators spent years analyzing every available piece of evidence: radar data, satellite communications, aircraft systems, maintenance records, weather conditions, pilot backgrounds. Despite one of the most detailed aviation investigations ever conducted, no single explanation could be proven. One possibility was that the aircraft experienced a catastrophic emergency that left everyone on board unable to respond. Another theory suggested that someone deliberately changed the aircraft's course. Investigators examined both possibilities carefully. However, no publicly available evidence has conclusively confirmed either scenario. Without the flight recorders or the main wreckage, many crucial questions remained unanswered. The biggest challenge has always been the location. The southern Indian Ocean is one of the most isolated and unforgiving places on Earth. Some areas are more than 6,000 meters deep. Powerful currents, rugged underwater terrain, and an immense search area make locating wreckage extraordinarily difficult. Even with modern technology, searching such a vast region is like trying to find a single building hidden somewhere in an area larger than many countries. Multiple search missions have taken place over the years. Each has used increasingly advanced underwater vehicles and mapping technology. Yet the main wreckage and the aircraft's flight data and cockpit voice recorders have still not been recovered. MH370 changed aviation forever. Airlines introduced improved aircraft tracking systems. International organizations pushed for better real-time monitoring of long-haul flights. The disappearance exposed a weakness few believed was possible in the modern era. It reminded the world that despite incredible advances in technology, our planet still contains places where answers can remain hidden for years. More than a decade has passed since flight MH370 disappeared. For the families of 239 people on board, the mystery is deeply personal. Their search has never been about headlines or theories. It's about finding answers. And finding closure, scientists, investigators, and search teams continue to study new evidence whenever it emerges. Many experts believe the aircraft can still be found. It's not a question of if the wreckage exists, it's a question of where. One flight, 239 lives, and a mystery that continues to challenge the world. If you enjoy exploring history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Mysteon and turn on the notification bell to never miss any further videos. Until next time, stay curious.